I'm excited to share with you finding lost opportunities using Ava. There is a ton that happens inside of your database, right? Everybody has a bunch of lost opportunities. These are people that just fell through the cracks, and finding them is one of Ava's little gems. So when we look at what that opportunity looks like, Ava has a specific thing called the Legacy Blast that does nothing but look for long-term pending patients. I ran this just before I shot this earlier today. And in this one, here we're looking at over 800 lost opportunities. So when we look at long-term pending patients inside of Ava and we say, okay, well, what's the value of those long-term pending patients? Why would we even do this, right? And so the data that we have on that would tell us that if we send out a legacy blast that for every group of 100, and we do them in groups of 100, but for every group of 100 that we blast, 36 will respond to that blast. Now that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's over a third that respond to the blast itself. The more exciting part is that 6% actually start treatment. So if you're looking for lost opportunities and reasons that we might would want to mine those opportunities, yeah, that's one of them. So finding other types of patients, Ava's really good at doing that as well. We have a whole system just for that. And there's all kinds of ways that we can look for opportunities inside of Ava. Is it really worth it? Well, let's find out. So I actually ran the studies myself. And what I did is I used my own private coaching clients because I could control more of the variables with them and get very, very good data. Your leads come from everywhere. They're all over the place. You have a lot of leads and they flow out of different buckets. Now, obviously what we want is the largest bucket to be starts. But from an opportunity standpoint, they're coming from all different areas. So what we want is to capture as many of those as we possibly can. And that's Ava's job, right? What we did is we did all of what needed to be done inside of Ava. So in this first practice, 176 lost patients. These are people that, again, just fell through the cracks. They weren't being followed up on in any way, shape, or form. Okay? It went October through December of 2020, and what we saw was this. 36 appointments were made, 14 starts that netted almost $31,000 in this particular practice. Now again, you would say, is that worth it? 3 months worth of mining old patients that just hadn't done anything with us? Is that actually worth it? Yeah, you have to make that determination, but I would say the numbers are pretty strong on that. Another practice, again, did the same process, but a little bit different segment because we had already mined this for a number of things, but this was one area that I wanted to really focus on and see what would happen here. And so we looked at our Early Smiles Club kids, and so we looked at 105 people that just hadn't been in quite some time that were under 11 years of age. Again, going October through December, so only a 3-month process. And in that time, we re-engaged 12 of those 105, one start, $4,500. Now again, you would look at this and say, well, Travis, that's not real impressive. On its face, maybe not, if we throw out that all of these kids were under the age of 11, right? Every one of them was under the age of 11. So how many starts are you actually going to get out of that to begin with? So we got phase one, but what's important is they're all eventually going to start. All 12 of these for sure are going to start. And what's likely is if we continue the engagement process with this subgroup, that most of those 105, as long as they stay in the area, are going to start treatment, and they're going to start treatment in this practice. And then the third practice, again, a little bit larger segment this time of 426. The campaign started in December and ended in January. We really only had about 5 weeks with this campaign, and I'll explain why in just a moment. But here's what happened. There were 8 appointments made, 4 starts, and $20,000. That's pretty good, right? Just looking at this in 1 month. But the number of phone calls generated and the volume that was being placed on the practice, the doctor came back and said, hey, can you stop the campaign? Don't run it any longer. Don't go any further. So when I take all 3 of these and put them together, and again, this is the process that we went through earlier, 707 leads that became 56 consults that became 19 starts for a total of $55,795 in contracts. Not bad. For a 3-month period of time with 2 of the practices, 1 month with 1 practice, and this was the net. Is it worth it going after these lost opportunities? Yeah, I think that probably you can figure out that one on your own. There's a lot that Ava can do for you. I look forward to you using Ava and then finding your success stories with the lost opportunities that you have.